Hello. Hey. All right, so I'm going to start this out by doing something you're never supposed to do, and I'm going to make some assumptions. I'm going to assume some things. I'm going to assume that you paid attention in second grade science class, that you remember bees are pollinators, pollinators visit flowers, and turn flowers into food. So 80% of the food crops that we grow are pollinated by honeybees, and this is pretty significant because these crops include fruits, vegetables, those things up there, and all of the parts of a healthy diet. And without bees, we don't have those foods. You probably have also heard, for real, you probably have also heard that there's something bad going on with bees, so I'm going to make that assumption too. You've probably seen some of the research, and a lot of it boils down to the fact that we're doing some pretty bad things as far as our agricultural movement. Bees are dying. The main culprits are pesticides and lack of good, nutritious food for bees. They just don't have enough good food to eat. So I wish I could stand up here and tell you that I became a beekeeper because I was really passionate about saving the bees of the world, but in reality, I became a beekeeper because that happened in my yard one day. An entire swarm of bees flew into the yard, started swirling around my head, and I stood out there with the camera, and they landed in our lemon tree. And then they proceeded to move into an old birdhouse, a wooden birdhouse we had in the backyard. So me being me, I said, hey, can we keep them? And my husband says, I don't think that's a really good idea because we don't live on a farm. We live in the city of San Diego, and we have kids, and we have dogs, and we have chickens, even though it's not a farm. And we have neighbors really close by our house. And bees sting, and no one likes being stung. That is a legitimate concern. Bees do sting, and no one likes it. For whatever reason, we left the bees there for an entire year. No one got stung. No kids, no dogs, no one got stung. The bees did their thing, we did our thing, and I kind of fell in love with them. So after a year, I got permission from my husband to have a beekeeper come and help us move the bees from this old birdhouse into a proper hive so that I could keep them and take better care of them. And as soon as we did that, I absolutely fell in love. I was hooked. I would sit out there and just watch the bees flying in and out of the hive. I'd take pictures. I read a lot of books about bees. I joined the local beekeeping society. I talked to lots of beekeepers. And I just really wanted to learn as much as I could. So as with many hobbies, that one hive turned into two, and two turned into more. And I needed to have a safer place to keep these bees because I have little kids that kick soccer balls around my yard. So the roof seemed like a really good idea. And it turns out that rooftop beekeeping is a perfect solution to keeping bees in the city. Because the bees are flying way up above your head. No one even knows that they're there, unless you're standing on your roof in a bee suit and your neighbors see you. And then you just give them some honey and it's all good. So will keeping hives in your backyard solve this global bee crisis? And the quick answer is no, not in itself, but it will start to help in small ways. And so what you'll start to notice is that there's a shift in the way you interact with your own little yard in your own neighborhood. You start to plant things that you know are going to be really good food for the bees, and you start to watch and see what the other pollinators like to eat. And you completely stop spraying pesticides in your yard because pesticides kill insects. Bees are insects. You also start to notice a really cool change in the people around you, and they start being a whole lot less afraid of bees. For example, my kids playing with the bees. But it starts to open up a conversation amongst people that you get to talk to. And you get to share the information with them that bees are really important. And without bees, we really will lose a lot of the foods that we depend on to be healthy in our life as humans. So if you've ever had the thought that maybe it would be kind of cool to keep bees in the city and thought that you couldn't do it, I promise you can. And it's actually legal in the city of San Diego to keep hives on most properties. So there are other people that are thinking, yeah, that would be kind of cool, I could do that. And then there are some people out there, and I can kind of see you, who are going, oh my God, no, I'm never, ever going to her house, ever. And that's okay. We don't all need to be beekeepers, but we do all need to care about what happens to honeybees. And so I would encourage you to do these 3 simple things that absolutely anyone can do. The first thing would be to stop spraying pesticides in your yard as much as possible. They're not good for anyone. The second super easy thing to do is just plant more flowers. Flowers are bee food. And the third, most important to me, thing that you can do is to support local beekeeping in whatever way you can do that. So it may be as simple as just buying honey from a local beekeeper. It may be voting to allow beekeeping in your community, or it could be become a beekeeper.